Okay, welcome to Sketchbooks. Today we're going to be looking at the eighth grade summer sketchbook, which should be 324, but because things are sort of on a different schedule, then it's 33C. Um, this is going to be the first of the sketchbooks to be on a four sketchbook a year cycle. So instead of a one sketchbook a year cycle, which means the rest of these are going to be much slower. So without a further ado, or adieu, I'm not sure which one it is. Here it goes. Okay. So we come off the eighth grade sketchbook doing pretty much the same thing. Dymaxion houses, this time shaped like triangles. Um, Maybe get some sort of Star of David action in there. Uh, then you have some SPS salamanders. This one has a solar heat dish on the back to power it, and it has a tank full of water that's pressurized by its self pump and by its motorized pump, and then you can use it for water gun fights. This is an ad. This is an eighth grade health class project on ketamine, and I was gonna make an emaciated dog to try to like market the product, to try to market the danger of ketamine because it's usually used for dogs. Um, yeah, there's something. There's the script, and I start finally, finally my first dosage. My friends told me this was going to be good. He drinks an unknown amount of liquid from the bottle. There, we're talking about ageism, racism, and sexism. I think I misspelled racism because there's no E in it. And here's, some examples. I think I did that actually in high school, but it continued. There is more SPS Salamander. There's the engine for the SPS Salamander. It's got um it's got a piston and some valves involved. Silly drawing with a light. I think sort of talking about the death of the candle and the birth of the light bulb. These are cities. There's another dog, this time a scary dog rather than a dog um that you're supposed to pity. Um this is supposed this was erased, but it says seriously sized. Seas slither with slimy snakes seeking sustenance, sliding southward in spring. They should be sliding southward in fall. But I was trying to use alliteration. This is actually upside down. And it has this is actually upside down, and the idea is that you have some electrolytes and you have water traveling around it, and when the in that each layer is a different electrolyte on a very small scale, and so the more heat there is, the more the water travels up and down through the electrolytes, and they're all put through some and then when the water travels through the electrolyte, electrons separate out of it and travel through the wires. But because they'd all be in different directions, there has to be a diode bridge around each electrolyte, making them all in the same direction, no matter which direction the water was flowing. So the more heat, the more the more heat you have and the more convection you have, the more energy you have. And as you see, this version of it has several cores. See, there are the parts I'm talking about. This has several cores. I think this sticks in. This alternator turns it back into AC you can use for your devices. This sticks into somewhere where, or sticks into the ground where the heat is collected, or sticks into something where the heat is collected. There is there are different cores. So this part is not just one, but several. And that means that even if horizontally they're not going, or even if one plane isn't having water travel the same direction all across it, um the um the the electrolytes add, or the current is all added together. So there's a so this one is trying to produce a light. I came up with it when we were exploring the community college in Pittsburgh for a trip with Hawbridge, my high school, and they had a lot of solar powered and gardening things. This is something for school. I shouldn't really put this here. Alexander the Great invaded Persia 334 BC, died at 33, united Greece to avenge his father, died at Babylon, taught by Aristotle, tamed a horse that was afraid of his own shadow, used the surprise attack to defeat Persia. So he united Greece to avenge his father. I know he united Greece by breaking the Gordian knot. I don't know if I think the avenge his father must have been an oversimplification, but I don't even remember what it's simplifying. Greek leaders: Agamemnon, Alexander, Philip II, Miltiades, Leonidas, from This Is Sparta, Draco, Greek government, Sparta. This is a funny image. I tried to replicate it recently. Well, not that recently, but recently. It says, "Don't worry, like you said, I'm a doctor." And that's that's a pepper shaker attacking the Dr. Pepper drink machine. More evolution. This is an ideal binder. I was gonna put paper in a tube, the pencil sharpener at the top of the tube. It's more ideal. That way you don't have to carry a separate pencil sharpener. And then there is there's a funny drawing of a broccoli-headed man with no body praying in a cave. There's a fish tank, I think. There's more fish tank stuff. The thermostat is being, so you've got the same setup as before. A let's see, white phosphorus refractory pattern. So what we're doing is we're having is I think that what this means is that we're using ultraviolet light to light this aquarium, and we're converting it into visible light through this wall, this aquarium wall made out of white phosphorus and lenses. Then you have the thermostats, which are removing all of the excess heat and then limiting how much heat they remove by the temperature. Then you have this. Yeah, central dome, which is where the water is coming up and being or you have this central tube where the water's coming up and being filtered through and coming back through the gravel and being filtered through. Don't know what this is. Here we have part of a circle and part of a parabola. Same thing from before with the diode bridges. A dog and a bird, silly dog. This is something. This is a thing that would show up in every summer sketchbook from then on. It was called You Draw a Line, I Draw a Line, and it's a game that my mom always suggests when I'm with her and we're not doing anything intensive. Um, she draws one line, then I draw another line, and then we alternate and we see what we draw. Usually, it's some sort. She thinks it's some sort of omen for the future. I think it's. I think I have better ones than that. I can do on my own. This is a comedy drawing, pretty good quality. Not as good as I would have later, but it says, "Well, we'll be facing the deepest credit card debt ever at this rate. Debt to Robotica. And we'd never know if it wasn't for this little organic drone. Worthless hunk of plasma." See, basically, it's a universe where robots built people instead of people building robots, and robots built organisms. I should have never invented those arrows that never stop. This is weird. Today at 6:30 in Greenberg Beach, Greenberg mentioned, the place where Albert Spiegelheimer lives, Bana Winunaki Day Parade. Whatever that means, I don't even remember. I remember hearing it. I remember reading it a long time ago. The world record for the most pieces of fabric in a single garment. Slice of human head, madame. I even did this too recently. The search for bosom tusk. See, that character has tusks, whereas if you consider the body as a whole and the tusks and compare it to a woman, the tusks are where the bosom would be. It's good. This is when I was biking. I was doing all my bike adventures. As seen in Artism, it says trip to Southern went on bike trip to Southern Village. Have cell phone 919. Of course, mom knows my cell phone. Um, or what it was. So, yeah. And this is Albert Spiegelheimer wearing a T-shirt that says Beta al Diablo because he worked as a roadside translator, and he sent a T-shirt that says "Goat to Hell" to his friend at the Carmudgeon Club from from Arburg, Texas. His name was Ground Chuck because he had dirt attached to his car. And Albert Schmiegenheimer, working in the garage, decided to paint around. Asked him if he wanted, asked him, and decided to paint around it rather than remove it. So he's called Ground Chuck. Now, kids, the best thing about hunting for sport is he's got EA Sports on his shirt. I'm going for the big one. And they're all shooting at him. Electrocute, static electricity, bears, and Omni. Now later, Omni became the Now later, Omni became the name of one of one of an early form of the Stardust printer, the Omni Blastophore, which was called because it was like the phase of human fetal development, the Blastophore, where it's a hollow sphere with a hole in the bottom. It says Omicron Persei 8, which is the foreign planet from, I almost said Phineas and Ferb, Futurama. There I was practicing being sort of, I forget what they called, but measuring the earthquakes, and instead of it being an actual earthquake, I was just measuring the turbulence as I was riding in the car. I was trying to prove that that driving I was trying to prove that while driving in a car or while riding in a car, it would be futile to be sketching. There's a monster, sort of like the ones I had in elementary school. It had ups and downs, UPS and DOWNS. I think that guy's holding a pill and a spear. The spine, the gun, the car, the pipe, the I drew I think I drew some random dots and then tried to make a and then tried to make constellations between them. This is some robot children, and I censored oil because I was trying to talk about something else or make it look like I was. Um, insert oil here. Oil. I don't know what I was talking about. They don't like being on the bottom. This girl's like stressed because she's near the top, but she's still below these two guys. And these two guys are just great. I think that's the end of it. Let me test. Yes, I think that is the end of it. Now um to the next one. Ninth grade art. Wait. No, I don't think I can do that today. But this one is short. But the last one was short, so I'm gonna stop share now. and stop recording. See you in the future.